Now, I have not made a video in a while, so here's a problem that came up with our dog fence. We have a pet-safe invisible dog fence that has an antenna buried outside. The problem is it's fairly long and fairly often breaks, and we have to go out and trace it, and that's kind of a job. So a neighbor asked, and we found out that there are PetSafe sells a tracer, little gadget you can trace, and of course there's YouTube videos that show you how to hook up a lawnmower or a spark plug to one wire and then just walk around with an AM radio. But spark plugs are getting obsolete and are only ones in a generator, so I thought there'd be a more elegant way to create a signal injector with my really old usrp1 back here, dated 2004. You can barely find info on these on the internet. These are like, it's 20 years old there. It's a vintage software radio. But anyway, it took me days to get this working because it appears like this slot here is transmit slot. What is that, B or A? It just doesn't seem to work. So when I moved it down here to this slot, this is a basic transmitter board, which is not much more than a transformer wired to the ADC, and I am using a amplifier here. It gets it up to about 1.8 volts peak, which is about 17 milliwatts. Anyway, this little amp's powered on, and we're going to turn on the radio in a second. After I explain this, the sketch I wanted to use is our sync. And what we're creating here is just using a constant signal, frequency 0, down 0.3, and we're going to modulate that carrier signal. Even though it's frequency 0, it gets translated up to 530 kilohertz here. We're going to create an AM signal with a 350 hertz, a 440 hertz added together makes a dialtone. I just cranked up the amplitude to get close to 100% modulation. And once you get your audio signal, you add 1. That's how you create AM, to modulate the carrier by adding 1. That simulates or acting like a reactor in the plate circuit of your AM transmitter. But anyway, let's get this thing going. I'll turn on the radio here. Tuned in to 530. Amplifier is connected. So if I hit go, there's our dial tone. And if I can boost this up a little bit more, a couple hundred milliwatts, I'll need another amp, I guess, then I can trace it. This just has a little radiator and a dummy load. Our dummy load is 36 51 ohm resistors, 6 in parallel, 6 in series, so those are quarter watt. 36 of those should be about 8 watts dummy load, and we're watching it here on the scope, showing the modulation. That's at 530. If you work out the peaks here, it works out to 530 kilohertz. I was using 1 megahertz earlier, which would be 1 microsecond. So this is almost 2 microseconds, which is close to 500 kilohertz. Half of 1 megahertz would be 500 kilohertz. Anyway, if we turn this down, we get our nice modulated AM. If I can get that going there. There's our modulated AM. So other than trying to figure out this bad spot on the board, it works great. And I'm glad the old usrp1 is functioning. This TVRX board is so obsolete. People on the mailing list don't even recognize it, and I have to hack the UHD to get it to work because it has a local oscillator of like 7.5 kilohertz, which the new one doesn't. But anyway, mission accomplished. If I can just boost it up to maybe a watt or so. And that's AM radio.